Hello, everybody. Did you see this?
I've been seeing clips of Mingin resurfacing because he was Justin Bieber's life coach. And obviously during all this Diddy stuff, like clips of Justin Bieber being vulnerable or intimate about his mental health are going viral. And for those of you who don't know, there was a point in my life where I was just at a very, very, very low place in life all around. Like I thought I was going to die and I wanted to die. I didn't have anything figured out, you know? So I eventually decided I want a life coach. And I watched Justin Bieber's documentary, I think it's called Journals, and it's on YouTube. And in this series, he had a life coach named Mingin. And I see this man and I'm like, oh my God, that's what I need.
I was told that he had zero credentials to be giving any sort of like psychiatric advice or therapy or anything of the sort.
$60,000 a month. $60,000 a month.
And your manager allowed you to do that at the time?
Yeah, so if you're anything like me, you're probably wondering who is Mingin? Well, let's talk about it. Mingin first made major waves as Justin Bieber's wellness guru in the 2020 YouTube original reality show docuseries, Seasons. Now, this is like Justin Bieber's, it's about him. Like, it's several episodes of things he's going through or whatever, and including his career and personal life and all that. So the docuseries focuses on two major elements of Justin's life at that current time. His new album, Changes. It's so confusing. They name the album Changes, the documentary is Seasons. Girl, please, no wonder nobody can't remember what its name is called.
I think it's called Journals, and it's on YouTube.
So it focuses on two things. This docuseries, in my opinion, seems to focus on two things. One, his new album, it was called Changes, and his mental health. The major plot device of the series revolves around Justin recording, rehearsing, and making the music video for Yummy. The yummy, yummy, yummy. It's like, it's nasty. Something's unsettling to me about that video. Like, I don't know. It's nasty. I don't like it. But it's like, I can appreciate the like colors or whatever. Anyway, so in this documentary series thing that they were making, there's like a music video shoot in one episode. And poor Justin Bieber, he starts to have a hard time. And then it's like they make kind of a big deal about it. And I know that they could have just edited this whole part out. It's like the whole episode kind of revolves around it.
It was a lot, like a lot of people, a lot of dynamic, a lot of stuff. I was in my head a lot, it was hard for me to really enjoy it like that, but I know that some days are gonna be just like that. I mean, in any workspace, there's gonna be those off days where you just feel kind of like, I got a good crew, everyone's, I should be good, but like today I just feel off. I think that day I was just a little off.
And then it shows Justin doing this havening thing. I don't know, I might be getting ahead of myself. One standout episode does involve recording the Yummy music video. So in that episode, we see this red-faced man with a thick-ass forehead sitting on the ground with Justin and Haley practicing an allegedly proprietary technique called havening.
Justin and I developed a routine that when he feels stressed, that he can use a technique called havening that I was trained in. And havening is a psychosensory technique that actually raises the feel-good chemicals in your brain on demand.
So they're doing this havening. So there's also videos of Haley, Justin's wife, describing this technique separately.
It's basically like a self-soothing thing. Everybody kind of has their own version of havening without even knowing it. It's like when you're a little kid and you suck your thumb to soothe yourself. When you're starting to feel really stressed out or just to keep yourself calm. It's almost like, I think when you're like a kid and your mom is like rubbing your back to sleep and it's like the best feeling in the world. It's kind of like that, except you're doing it for yourself.
Now, importantly, Mingin, this is 2020 is when it actually aired, February 2020. So I don't know exactly when they recorded this documentary, this Yummy, like all this back behind the scenes thing. But at the time, Scooter Braun was Justin Bieber's manager. And if y'all remember, we're in the web. We are all the way in the middle of the web at this point. But Justin Bieber's manager, Scooter Braun, also co-signed him, co-discovered him with Usher. And then Scooter Braun is like a big name in Hollywood. He's Ariana Grande's former manager, but maybe still possibly working with her. Anyway, he's in here. Okay. So Scooter Braun is who is accredited for inviting Mingin onto the music video for Yummy.
Scooter asked me to be at the Yummy shoot. I'm behind the scenes watching him on a video camera, and no sooner does he get out there and he just had a really tough time.
And thank God he was there, y'all, because just almost like perfectly as a PR angel sent from the heavens above, Justin Bieber indeed does need to stop the whole entire music video. And we got everybody stopped so Buzz Mingin can do Havening with Justin and Haley can sit right in front of him. Buzz says that Justin had a really tough time on the shoot. Basically, as soon as the cameras turned on, Justin starts having a hard time, according to Buzz. And he does seem to be right about that, because at least how the video is shot and edited, Justin does completely break down during the shoot, and it seems to kind of dissociate a little bit or something. He buries his head in his hands and all that. And he even talks about it. He says it was just a lot. Everyone is like getting all shushed and thanked for their patience while Justin sits there like in this quiet room. Like he couldn't have like left the opulent feast. He had to like stay in the middle. Like I felt like there was a lot of different ways they could have helped him in that moment besides like shushing everyone else in the room. I don't know.
Very appreciate everyone's patience, guys.
I wasn't there, I don't know. But the way it was edited, it does look like Justin was having a hard time that day. So it's around this part of the video that we meet another one of Justin Bieber's so-called team. That is this man right here. He's supposed to be Justin's, quote, brain health doctor. This is Dr. Amin from the Amin clinics. Oh man, this man really truly he could have a series of his own, but you know, I'll put a little compilation, a little intro here as to who he actually is.
I'm really thrilled to introduce you to our teacher, Dr. Daniel Amin. He's a psychiatrist, founder of the Amin Clinics, and an internationally recognized expert in brain health.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amin.
Dr. Daniel Amin.
He's a clinical neuroscientist, New York Times best-selling author.
Basically, he like scans your brain and tells you, like he sees where it's like firing.
Right.
Like I'm like,
we're gonna help you kill the ants, or the automatic negative thoughts that steal your happiness and ruin your mind.
Faith, which is why do you care, food, fitness, I mean, it just makes such great sense.
Here is a set of healthy SPECT scans. The image on the left shows the outside surface of the brain, and a healthy scan shows full, even, symmetrical activity. The color is not important, it's the shape that matters.
I went to the Amin Clinic in 2006, and I have to say that it was the biggest joke and complete ripoff.
The drugs they gave me caused me terrible side effects, and it took me about 45 days to bounce back into myself with the right professionals.
My wife went back many times to see the legal drug dealer at $200 an hour, the whole time offering my wife different types of drugs.
Dr. Darmo carelessly prescribed a treatment plan for me without checking whether I could handle the medication and herbs effectively.
My husband suffered from depression. He's much better since he stopped taking the prescribed med from the Amin psychiatrist. My son actually got worse. We kept trying new supplements and dosages as if it's a guessing game. I've read many reviews where people in panic mode spent money and time they did not have on SPECT scans that were not effective. They were desperate. At the Amin clinics, you'll be injected with nuclear radioactive material. You'll receive a scan. A psychiatrist will play the role of neurologist, then play the role of psychiatrist.
Once you go and pay, it's too late to see that it is a total fraud.
Reimagine mental health is brain health. Changes everything. And I love learning from my patients.
He's connected to, we can throw the web up here too. He's connected to the Kardashians.
Waiting for my sister. Hey, how are you?
Hello, hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Cairo.
Hi.
All the way to the back. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Scan has started.
Getting an MRI on your brain is not fun. It's incredibly claustrophobic, but this is a breeze and it's sort of relaxing, and I'm just closing my eyes and I'm relaxing. What's she looking like?
Like she needs me.
Oh. Is it worse than mine? She looks like she has more little dents.
Just did a study called SPECT, and SPECT looks at blood flow and activity. It looks at how your brain works.
He's connected to Meghan Trainor.
Everyone knows I'm doing this. They're all waiting for my results.
You listen to what?
Dateline, Murder.
Oh no.
He was working with Miley Cyrus,
Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, Bella Hadid, and we looked at their brains.
I mean, the man's been around for a long time, and I do think, just to be clear, just to be fair, I do think some of the stuff that both him and Buzz Mingin do probably works, you know, and all that, you know, not taking that away from him, but it's just like they're very connected in Hollywood. That's the point right now. So he's talking on the Justin Bieber documentary. He appears there right after Buzz comes on the screen. Here comes Dr. Amin with his white coat. And here he is, he's talking about brain imaging and brain scans and how someone with addiction can have their brain look, quote, really terrible in one scan, but then within just 6 months of recovery, they can then have a brain scan that looks much better.
someone right when they're getting sober and their brain just looks terrible. That same brain 6 months from now can look much better if you do the right things for it. I'm just incredibly impressed with the brain's ability to heal.
Like I said, we could really get into a lot of detail about this guy.
Let me show you the difference between a toy used by a psychiatrist and a functional MRI used by a neurologist. Look at the difference in clarity and definition. Both are used for neurological diagnoses. One is obsolete and outdated in its technology. Can you guess which one? Did you know, according to the Amen Clinic's website, that a SPECT study cannot diagnose a psychiatric disorder? Now, this may surprise you, especially after you've watched Dr. Daniel Amen in his TED Talk state,
How would you ever know what to do for them unless you actually look? Imaging was showing us there was a better way. Always felt like I was throwing darts in the dark. Psychiatrist guess.
Will the SPECT study give a diagnosis? No. How are diagnoses obtained at the Amen Clinics? At Amen Clinics, diagnoses about specific conditions are made through a combination of clinical history and personal interview. Amen Clinics diagnose psychiatric disorders the same way as every other psychiatrist in America. The difference is the Amen Clinics charge the patient for a very expensive SPECT study. According to Dr. Harriet Hall, Dr. Amen charges patients thousands of dollars to inject them with radioactive compounds and show them pretty colored pictures of their brain without any credible evidence that it adds to the diagnostic or treatment process. You would have to be injected with a radioactive nuclear material for each medication used.
Suffice it to say that this person is a mentor of sorts to Buzz Mingin, and he is a very big social media personality in his own right. You've probably maybe even seen some of his videos come up before and stuff like that. So I want to insert this clip right here of Buzz Mingin talking about investing in the Amen Clinics and why he invested in the Amen Clinics.
Hi, my name is Dr. Buzz Mingin. I'm a clinical case manager and a brain health clinician with the Amen Clinic. So I find Dr. Daniel Amen on TV. That's when I became a fan. I had, reached out to gain some of his materials. I was looking at his research, and it was my first sign and inspiration that someone was finally creating answers of the precursors that led to people's dysfunction. Ultimately, now we're several years later, and I work as an affiliate clinician to both the California and Manhattan locations. And I would tell you that my investment in the Amen Clinic has been nothing short of magnificent, because we are not only treating people with different levels of illness, but we're investigating the reasons that have created these dysfunction in their lives.
So that's the connection between them two, right? No need for me to tell you. He just told you himself. Okay. That was in 2020 that this documentary comes out. Scooter Braun is Justin Bieber's manager. And then in 2022, at least as far as the public is told, that's when Britney Spears and P. Diddy's business manager steps into the scene and starts to manage Justin Bieber's business. Now, importantly, at the time, I think Lou Taylor was no longer Britney Spears' business manager. Maybe she was just on her way out or whatever. But this is the lady that's connected all. We have like 7-hour-long video about her. Yeah, her. Anyway, so she starts managing Justin Bieber in 2022. That's what they told us in the public. Okay, so that's what we'll go with. June 11th, 2024, Justin Bieber's longtime manager, we already talked about him, Scooter Braun. He's the one that asked Buzz Mingin to be on the set conveniently that day of Yummy. Scooter Braun gets canned, apparently, allegedly, according to these PR, push titles or whatever. That's June 11th. So then people are like, oh my God, like a week's going by, right? And we're like, oh my God, Lou Taylor came in and Scooter Braun's out. She's taken over and all of that, right? Well, not only a whole week goes by, not even a whole week goes by. June 18th, Justin fires Lou Taylor on June 18th. So boom, boom. Okay, so now a few months later, we get told that he's actually thinking about suing his former financial managers for squandering his money. So I don't know if that has anything to do with Scooter Braun and Lou Taylor, but they both got kicked to the curb by Justin Bieber this year within a week of each other. Speaking of today, right, 2024, if you go to, as the time of the recording of this video that I'm doing right now, if you go to Buzz Mingin's website, just right there, we'll put the picture up here, right here on the screen. It's right there. Knowledge and tools for coping with workplace stress. And it's like the freaking workplace is the Yummy music video. I'd love to see another example. In this documentary, Hailey Bieber and the rest of them are like, well, everybody has bad days. everybody has, a hard time. It's like Justin Bieber's saying, everybody wakes up some days, doesn't want to go to work, whether it's a music video or whatever. Some days you're just feeling off. It's like, can we stop trying to make analogies between Justin Bieber's schedule and a normal working person? And I'm not even trying to say Justin Bieber don't have problems. He clearly does. Like, he faces his own struggles. But let's stop trying to call that's not the workplace. And he's also apparently an actor. I found this actor page today. I am a confident behavioral clinician. I have a degree in black belt grandmaster.
Hi, my name is Dr. Buzz Mingin. I'm a master black belt.
Okay. Amazing wife, Bonnie Maria. I come from Italian background and have something culture. He's describing his accent. I mean, this is a clinical psychologist.
13 to 17-year-old girls, beginner and intermediate scoring in grade 4. 13 to 17-year-old girls, beginner and intermediate scoring in grade 4.
Oh, buddy. Anyway, okay, so we're going to move on to the next chapter here because there's another way that we know who Buzz Mingin is and has nothing to do with Justin Bieber. I mean, it probably does because it's all on the web, right? But I had already heard about this man. Before I ever heard Tana Mongeau saying she had paid him $60,000 a month.
$60,000 a month.
I talked about this extensively. I did like a 5-hour long live stream. Y'all need to go watch it. I talked about this web extensively. I talked about Buzz Mingin extensively. I knew about him through another way. And it was two different connections with Aura. Three. First of all, he treated Amanda Rabb, and that was public. That was made public on Lima's Instagram account. She had posted thanking him for donating his time. Okay. Then also she went on this podcast. Lima went on Buzz Mingin's podcast, Get Buzzed, which we're going to talk about in just a second. There was also this picture, which we'll get to last. Okay, so this podcast, first of all, we do a timeline over here on this channel. This podcast, first of all, it aired at a peculiar time, in my opinion. The date that it was published was in June 2021. But clearly, by the way that they are talking in the podcast, in the interview, they had filmed it way before it came out. Because in the interview, Lima talks about a patient that she's working with named Amanda Rabb, who we have a playlist about over here if you're interested. But Amanda Rabb tragically did pass away in May 2021.
Oh my God! What the fuck? Oh! Oh my God!
The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
So we do have a pretty good understanding of the timeline of like what was going on with Amanda Rabb and things that were happening with her and where she was at certain times and things. During the podcast interview, Lima is talking about Amanda Rabb, and she says that she had been sober for about 3 months.
Right now, we have a patient named Amanda who was going through a tough time. She was homeless on Skid Row and addicted to crack cocaine, and she was basically on the verge of dying. She wouldn't have lasted another 2 months on the street. So we put her into the program, and we've been fundraising for her. And at present, she's at a treatment center. She's 3 months sober, and she's doing really well. You had the pleasure of speaking with her and doing an analysis.
Correct. And
yeah.
Which means that it is more likely than not, this interview was filmed in 2020.
So here you are. You are free from jail.
Yeah, 3 months I spent.
And yeah, it's been 3 months. Now you're in a rehab.
Yeah.
Kind of on the outskirts of LA.
Yeah, Claremont.
So you've been clean for, you think how long?
I've been clean for like probably 11 or 10 months.
Okay. So it's interesting that it didn't get actually put out on Get Buzz podcast until June 2021 because Amanda had already passed away. by that point, right? So if the interview would have been put out, before Amanda passed away, it would have made sense. But it was like Amanda passed away and then a month goes by and then they put out this podcast, and in the podcast, they're talking about Amanda as if she's still alive and she actually had passed away. So it just, it indicates to me that they held off on posting this for a while, and I don't know why. Okay. Like I said, I covered this extensively on my other channel, so I'm not going to get into all of the details. It's like almost an hour long. It's a lot of revelations, in that podcast interview. But I'm going to point to some of the highlights here. First of all, around the 4-minute 30-second mark, we have Buzz Mingin saying to Lima, quote, "You and I spend quality time together, really trying to build this company so people can benefit from this really sophisticated toolbox."
You and I spend quality time together, really trying to build this company so people can, enjoy and benefit from this really sophisticated toolbox.
Okay, so this was, news to me. Who knew? Put a I knew comment down below if you knew Buzz Mingin, quote, "spent a lot of quality time together with Lima, really trying to build this company," meaning Aura, "so people can benefit from it." Who knew? Put a I knew in the chat if you knew. Put a I did not know if you did not know, because I did not know. Interesting to me. But then I start putting that together with the fact that Buzz Mingin, wait a second, he helped Lima build Aura, and he was doing assessments, medical assessments also on Amanda as a patient who was receiving court-ordered Aura. That's interesting for me to find that out. Did you know that?
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Daniel Amen. I am going to talk to you for the next few minutes on brain SPECT. SPECT basically tells us 3 things: good activity, too little, or too much. And then our job is to balance the brain.
So SPECT imaging. So when I first learned and was being trained in SPECT imaging, it was just a foreign language to me. Because the traditional system of care in psychiatry doesn't have this type of evidence. As I'm learning it, I'm suspicious as to why, every psychiatric center or mental health clinic is not using this type of evidence.
Google SPECT imaging, brain SPECT imaging, and look at what a healthy brain looks like and what a brain looks like when you have a drug addiction or alcohol addiction. And what those scans show is brain activity and blood flow. And so you're gonna see that the brain of someone who's using a substance looks like Swiss cheese, so it has a bunch of holes in it. Those holes are not real holes in your brain. They're just where blood does not flow. And basically, if you look up a SPECT image of somebody's brain, what you're gonna see is that there's gonna be a bunch of little holes in those images. And what those images show is that's not actual holes in your brain. It basically shows where blood flow does not go and where brain activity is.
I'm only quoting him because I don't want to get blamed for saying something that I'm quoting. But that's shocking to me. Like, that seems interesting. That's what I was asking. Do you find that interest? Is that a point of interest that he was also treating Amanda Rabb and doing an assessment on Amanda Rabb and getting shout out, thank you, at Buzz Mingin, but he's also admitting publicly on his own podcast, quote, "You and I," to Lima, "you and I spend quality time together, really trying to build this company." That's interesting to me. So then we only have to wait about 30 seconds before the next interesting point. Buzz talks about how he met Lima a little bit. I mean, we don't get that many details, but we do get some specifics. It's, Buzz says and we're going to put the clip in here. We'll put it in here. I don't know how the audio will be, but it's going in here because we need to show y'all he said it, not me. He said he met her because he needed a, quote, software partner, and she needed a, quote, content person who understood mental health and had the same passion.
I think your story, Lima, is just overwhelmingly incredible. I mean, I just have so many questions to ask you, but thanks for coming on. Thank
you so much for having me, Buzz.
So I want everyone to know this kind of uniqueness about our story here. You ready? So I built a model that would identify college students and train them on brain health. And it also flags people who are at risk for being ill and, and gives them tools for what to do and et cetera, et cetera. But I just couldn't find the right software partner. I needed a strategic partner who was just really bright and sophisticated in software. And then you had all this software and you needed this content person that really understood mental health and had your same passion. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, and not only understood mental health, but looked at it in a unique way, because a lot of traditional medical professionals will just resort to what the textbook treatment is in a one-size-fits-all. And a lot of times when you go to a therapist, they're most likely to diagnose you with what they're most comfortable treating. So misdiagnosis is absolutely rampant in mental health.
So he needed somebody to build the software for what he wanted. And she needed somebody who had what is a content person?
And you needed this content person that really understood mental health and had your same passion.
So I don't know what that really means, but a minute and a half goes by and Buzz Mingin reiterates that they are partners in this. He says, quote, "Could you find a better match? Let's be honest."
What we do and also scale what you do as well.
Yeah, I mean, could you find a better match? I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
no.
Then they talk about they both do martial arts.
And we had the same martial art, kind of passion, which I felt, I just found that so unique. Like, what are the chances that...
Yeah, that was the first thing that we bonded about.
Hi, my name is Dr. Buzz Mingin. I'm a master black belt.
And they both have mentally ill sisters. Y'all remember them twins?
Hey everyone, this is our new YouTube channel.
And they really bond over that. They really talk about the trauma they experienced from having a mentally ill sister a lot during the podcast.
And then I have a sister who has significant mental health issues that I've worked my whole life in collaboration with my family to heal, as you did. I mean, am I right?
Yeah, so I think that, a lot of times people will feel sorry for people that have difficult stories, but I think for you and I, it gave us a lot of purpose and so much drive, and it's going to end up helping so many people in the long run. So I'm actually very grateful for it.
Then Buzz, around the 7-minute, 20-second mark, says, "We are about to change the world." They were about to change the world, girl.
And I'm grateful to, work with you because we are about to change the world.
And he also said, quote, "Be prepared, everybody, because our product is coming."
So all you people who are listening to this, be prepared because our product is coming. It's very close to being launched.
He says that they're close to launching the product, which he described as our product, for a company that he, quote, really tried to build, quote.
And if it wasn't for Lima, I have to say that my energy would be dipping a little bit. But Lima, you're like a case of Red Bull and a shot of like adrenaline. I mean, you just kind of keep going. I'm not quite sure what your secret, formula is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is still out there, public. And then there's one other thing. I mean, probably more than one, but another thing that I definitely wanted to mention is that Lima is talking in this video about the mental health stigma, which she never defines, but I assume it means something like, people stigmatize and treat differently in some way folks that have a mental illness or something, if they find out that someone has a mental illness or something like that. And that's true. There are stigmas. I mean, that's exactly how the conservatorship or jail model works so well, is that you tell somebody's schizophrenic and you can pretty much, the cops will let you bring them somewhere. That's all I gotta say. Because of that is a stigma. So yeah, she's right. I mean, she's right about the stigma, but she's like, up until like last year, and we'll put the quote in here, up until like last year, for the first 3 years, when people would ask about my sisters, because I was so embarrassed and the mental health stigma, I would say they're on vacation or they're doing their own thing because I didn't want people to find out.
For the first 4 years, up until last year, when people would ask me, "Oh, where are your sisters?" I would tell them that, "Oh, they're traveling, they're busy, they have their own thing going on." Because of the mental health stigma, I was very embarrassed about what was going on.
So she's saying she's still stigmatized mental health, even into wanting to start a mental health company. Because she had said that she wanted to be in the mental health field the whole time. Like all these 360 experiences, all this other stuff she was doing, all the time in her mind, she said on the Buzz Mingin podcast, all the time in her mind, she was like, I want to get into the mental health field. I'm just trying to get my resume up. I'm trying to get my experience up, right? All the while she's thinking that, and she's also simultaneously so embarrassed and so hasn't worked through her own stigmatizing of mental health that she's concealing the truth from people who ask her where her sisters are. I mean, this right here is just like Lima admitting to being dishonest and untruthful because of that mental health stigma. And it's like, I'm not even necessarily like faulting her for that. I can absolutely understand there's many reasons why you wouldn't want to like tell all your family members' business in the streets and all of that. But like, you don't have to affirmatively come out and tell everyone about it. Like, you know, maybe you like don't.
She also did go out and tell everybody on the streets about
their illness. That's the thing too.
Roughly within their mid-20s, they began to hear voices. They were told that they were schizophrenic, which is not the case. They were prescribed antipsychotics, misdiagnosed for about 3 years. After 3.5 years, my sisters were finally properly diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder.
That's the thing too, but it's like she's out here telling us also she's like, I was too embarrassed to tell people the truth, so I would lie. And it's like, I mean, I'm just thinking about all of the untrue statements and false statements that have come out the woman's mouth and have come in her filings and stuff. And it's just like, I cannot imagine living in a world where like it really doesn't matter if what you say is true. And where's Dima while we're at it? Anyway, so y'all can go listen to that. It is still up. At the end of it, he says that the product was close to being launched, and it was supposed to be launched in the early 2020 and spring 2020, but that also happens to be when Amanda Rad passed away, so I wonder if that kind of slowed down the whole production or whatever. I really don't know. So there's that whole podcast piece of it, and then there's the final little piece of evidence that I had already known about Buzz Mingin before Tana Mongeau ever mentioned this $60,000 thing, and it's this picture right here. Now, this is Lima and Buzz, and they're having some type of food. They're having a little lunch. It looks delightful. And Lima's wearing this sweatshirt that says, "Make sure your friends are okay." Okay. I have looked at this picture for years. I might have even Googled "make sure your friends are okay." I might have even looked at the website. Nothing really stood out to me because the web hadn't started webbing yet. My whole world took a topsy-turvy upside down whenever one of y'all put in my comment section the other day, that sweatshirt right there and that picture I've looked at 1,000 times, it's not just some nice little slogan. No. It's from a company. And that specific sweatshirt is from a merch collab. Not with DID, no. Not with 16 Leo, no. No, not Steve-O either. Not Adam and not Soft White Underbelly. This sweatshirt comes from a merch collab with this company and none other than Tana Mongeau.
They take me to this place and they like scan my brain and they can see all the trauma in your brain and what different, because trauma creates like small holes in your brain.
Get your limited edition Facts Ain't Defamation ThatSurpriseWitness TV hoodie because these ain't getting made no more. It's the last of them. So I don't even know if they got black ones left. This might be already dead stock. No, wait, what's it called? Sold out? What's it called whenever something's sold out and you're never getting it again? It's in the vault. It's in the vault. We got some more new merch coming soon, but this is your last chance to get this one.
BJ investigate, she gonna find the truth. She gonna crack the case here. It's not a lie when it's paperwork. She will expose the truth. Daily updates for you. Better subscribe like I knew you would. We gotta stand for what's right. We gotta do for the good, yeah. I don't know what y'all have heard. That surprise witness got the word. We don't believe in Scientology. I do not need your mind control on me. We don't need your conservatorships, no. We doing right what's right for the kids. Whoa.
Y'all cannot control me. I control my own mind. You could've controlled me then. Still not in this lifetime. Can you send us down the pink angel from the heavens of truth? You don't want to debate with BJ. Studying law is what she do.